The Haze Hour is sponsored by Janty, pioneers in e-cigs.
Well, there you go.
Here we are again.
All the technological, techno-trickery, wizardry and everything and sorted out. Buzz-free zone, apparently.
And it's worked.
And it's worked. It's all working. It's all good. Hey, we've got a packed show tonight.
And haven't got the same gear on either.
No, different shirts. Different. I noticed you changed your shirt.
Yes.
Just in case anybody.
Yes.
Yes, just in case anybody got confused. If you were watching last week, you'll understand why. It got our producer, Chris Cat, well and truly consternated, confused. It's one of the words. Yes, she's sitting watching a recorded show that was going out on this, what we call the autopilot, and both Keith and I were wearing the same shirts.
Yes.
Yes, not the identical one on him and me, but the one.
Right.
Anyway,
yeah.
it's a packed show tonight. Absolutely packed. You know, I mentioned a couple of weeks back about the O-ring mod repair. Well, I've done one and I've videoed it this time so you can see how it happens. We've got the Dominator Rebuildable, we've got the Elips Mix Twin, we've got the Vaporiz Gemini, and we've got all kinds. There's all sorts of stuff going on. It's going to be huge. It's going to be mega. It's going to be marvellous.
Right, calm down then, right.
Really? You just waiting for the titles, aren't you, Keith?
Yes.
That's what you want. You want the music on the titles.
Music, yes.
Now, just put your fingers like that.
What for?
No, index and little.
Oh, I didn't see
on the left hand, not the right hand. That means something totally different. Two fingers down.
I don't know if I can do that.
That's it. Now hold the two middle ones down. Put your thumb across like that. Right, now just do that. Yeah, you enjoyed that, didn't you?
Yes. Don't know what it was for, but
head banging. Yes, it's going to be cracking tonight. I know you've been looking at that Vaporiz Gemini over the last week.
Yes.
So I've set time aside for you to sit and talk about that.
Oh, that's very kind.
That's all on you.
Is it?
It is all on you. But I think we should probably start with the O-ring repair.
Right.
I'll get the technical stuff out the way.
Out of the way, yes.
Then you don't need to be worried about it. But before I do that, woohoo! Yes, all kinds of stuff going on. And I'm even going to tell people what we're doing next week as well. It's all going to be good.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But we'll blast straight in. We'll go straight in. Now, you may recall, while I was away on holiday, I had taken two devices like this one, which I had made with my own fair hands.
Yes.
Prior to having a manicure, because I got wrong, because my fingernails apparently were shoddy.
Right.
And they'd been close up on my hands, and somebody'd said, why don't I cut my fingernails?
All right.
It's not easy picking your nose with no fingernails. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, made two of these, took them away, and they both died. The story has been told, it was videoed and so on and so forth. And then on our forum, at forum.vaportrails.tv, there was a post on there that told you how you can fix a 510 connector, because it was the centre post that had shorted out. I can see you drifting away already.
Yes.
You're drifting away. There's the middle bit that carries the current, right?
This is really exciting.
I'm sure it is. It had shorted out to the outside bit. The two bits shouldn't touch each other.
Yes.
So this post was put up to show you how to fix it, and I mentioned it and kind of said I'd done it, but I didn't show people how. So this morning, in a fit of I need to do this so people know how, because it works so well and is so clever, because it gives you adjustment up and down, I thought, right, I'm going to do it, so I've done it. Are you ready for this, or are you just going to have a snooze?
Oh, I'm ready. Yes.
Here we go. So this is how it happens. So here it is. As you can see, the centre connector part, if you look at it, you can see that it's just all gone to hell in a handcart. It's if I wobble the wire around, you can see that the centre connector is just all over everywhere. So the idea is to disconnect from this part, take it out and put the O-ring on. So let's make a start. I'll get the old plug and filters out and just wipe this off. That's it, that's that off. And so now, with a little bit of luck and a following wind, it will just pull through. I may need to snip that a little, or tidy it up at any rate. Just make sure I'm going to have enough. Yeah, I am. So we'll just tidy this up a bit and pull it through. Now, you may be able to see right in the very centre that the collar is goosed. I'll just try and pull that out, and here it is. And as you can see quite easily, it's just dropped to bits, completely in bits, and isn't really going to do the job at all well. So let's depart those, and this is the bit we're looking at. Now, as you can see, I solder up the centre. So now what I need to do is to find O-rings that will suit, and it's where my little box of O-rings comes in. That one fits, as you can see. So the question now is that actually going to be the right size, or am I going to be better off with that one? Okay. Now I know from experience that that one is too big. It slips on far too easily. And while it'll work and keep the contact out, we might be better using a slightly tighter one, and this will thread on in this direction, which is why I took the cable out in the first place. So let's thread that up and pull it on like so, making sure that it's snug up underneath the connector itself. And then let's just try a test fit. And push it down into place. Because what we want to find out is whether or not that's going to remain steady. And with just the O-ring, as you can see, and you can hear, nothing, not a thing there. So right, now I need to resolder, and I'm going to bend this whole thing into place so that I'm a little bit closer to it all. So, tin the tip, and then blow a solder on. Good. And then checking for shorts at every stage here. Still alright. And I think I can actually redo that connection altogether. Get the positioning right. Tin that piece up. And then solder it in place. Okay, so now we have the centre pole in, surrounded by its little washer, and if we check out, and there we have it, that's solid. Absolutely cock on. Now the other thing that's happened, as you can see, is that the springs have shortened off enormously, and the answer to that is a pair of plug-in filters. If you've got new springs, put them in. Otherwise you can stretch the spring back out, keeping it flat on. And I know it doesn't look very good, but honestly it will work, because it worked on the other one. So I should be able to slip a couple of batteries in there and everything ought to work just fine. But need to test with the back off. And what we'll do, I think, is to slip on the Penelope, purely because I've got one here. Good and firm, and then check the connections and see what the crack is. So there's good old Fluky. Connect up, meter it out, 2 ohms, which happens to be exactly what I've set it to. One more time. 2 ohms, and that's exactly the way we want it. So the next step is to stick some batteries in, or a battery in, because this is a parallel battery one, and see what happens. Let's pick up a battery, slide it in, switch it on, which it is, and press the button. You can hear a slight sizzle, and you can see nothing moving spring wise, which is excellent. All good news. Other spring on, same thing again. If this wire is not stiff enough and it starts wobbling about the place, then it could possibly move the centre pole. It would be better to be able to insulate that little button, and some heat shrink would probably do it. But I make absolutely no claims to be a top class modder. I just wanted to get the thing working. It's now working. I'm quite happy that that's safe. So we'll stick the top back on, and we're ready to go. A little hint: if you've got something fairly big on the top and you've already got the top off, you can just snap it back into place. I'd quite forgotten that the end was there. That was me being technical. Wake up. And it works. I've done them both now with this little O-ring.
Oh, that's a pity, because I would have done the other one for you tomorrow, if I'd known.
Well, I wish you'd said. Now, this is not me trying to take over from either Gary or Mark. It's not in any way, shape or form. As you saw, when it comes down to fine work like that, I am to soldering what Pavarotti is to weight loss, or was to weight loss. I'm not. I can get away with big joints, but there's not a hope in hell of me managing a fine soldering iron. Not in any way, shape or form.
Well, it worked, didn't it?
It works, and it works very well. The beauty about it is, and this is the real beauty, I've got a number of different devices that are quite picky about what they'll work on, because of where the centre post goes in the atomizer. Some are a bit short, some are a bit longer, and if you've had one that's got a long one on and you're a screw it down tight kind of guy or gal, then you can force that centre post down. But because that's got that lovely squashy rubber O-ring under it, it just bounces back up, and I've not got anything that will not fire. On this, it works. It's a brilliant tip. So now you know how to do it. You can too. It's good, that, isn't it?
It's very good. Yeah.
So I'm gonna, the adverts, first adverts are going to be a little bit late. We're going to take a quick promo video, and then we're going to talk to Keith, or Keith's going to talk to you about what he's been playing with this week.
All right.
Haven't you?
Yes.
Did you know that? You did now. Here's what's coming up during the rest of the week, and next week, and every week.
And good evening. Taking a while to get things lined up and ready to go. But I'm here now, so welcome to the Let's Talk Box Sets.
So there we go, I'm back in the room and not long to go now. So yeah, I was talking to my son, and he's watched me make things before.
At Vaporiz TV Towers. Tonight being Wednesday night, it is time for the one and only chat show programme called PT Talk. It is the Haze Hour. Again, Keith was just saying if it wasn't for the titles, he wouldn't come and do the show. He loves them so much, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's what's coming up over the next week, starting on Sunday. Don't miss Dave Kitson's show, because both he and I are going across to Ireland for Vape Fest Ireland. And there's every chance that there'll be footage from there, and apparently there's going to be 600 million people there. Right. There's £10,000 worth of raffle prizes and giveaways.
10,000?
£10,000 worth of raffle prizes and giveaways. Are you sure you don't want to come?
So how many are expected?
Well, I'm hoping there's only going to be me and Dave, and we'll buy all the raffle tickets. Slightly. No, there'll be a fair few there. Lots and lots of Irish people and American people as well, and two Brits.
Oh, it'd be good if you get some footage of that then.
Well, that's what we're hoping. I'll certainly try and get some for next week, and I'm thinking Dave will be getting some as well. But anyway, let us blasteth on a bit and talk about what you got in a box like that. It's called the Vaporiz Gemini. Not that I know why. So, how have you been getting on with it? How have you been doing?
Very well. Very well indeed. Very discreet, very reliable. All I'm doing is charging the battery every night, and delightful. So you get a really good sort of full smoke from it. Given its size.
Well, yes, it is. It is a lucky likey size, but in the usual Vaporiz livery, isn't it? Of black and white and green. And it's not a bad looking piece of kit, it has to be said. So it comes with 3 flavours in the 3 flavour pack, and as yet we don't have a price on it. I'm going to take the menthol one out. Sav, that's coming your way.
Yes, I haven't touched the menthol one.
No, menthol, Marmite, not good, not good. But you've been refilling as well, haven't you?
I haven't refilled yet, no. That's a question I was going to ask you about the refilling, which you sort of demonstrated to me.
With the condom.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So, when you refill it, I mean, obviously you're gradually pushing it into the container.
Yes.
Right? So then when it's full, presumably you rest it, do you, for a while?
I usually do. I like to let them fester for 10 minutes or so, and it just gives everything a chance to...
I was wondering, is there a danger of drawing the liquid back from it?
There is. If you go at it too quickly, then you could well get a little spurt of juice in the mouth.
Right.
Now, if you like the taste of the juice, it's not an issue.
Right.
If you don't like the taste of the juice, why the hell are you using it? No, I mean,
Yes.
There are some people that don't take too well to it. It scares them, but there's really nothing to be scared of. It's not going to do you any danger, but it could be a bit kind of sharp on the tongue. Could, you know, maybe numb your tongue a little bit.
Right.
So how much have you been using it then? Has it become an all-day job since you picked it up?
When did I pick it up? Monday, was it?
I think so, yeah.
I've used it consistently ever since. And
Exclusively?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And it served the purpose?
It served the purpose ideally. You know, we talk about one that fits in the pocket. Well, I was out the other evening and I took it, put it in my pocket, and I mean, it's so discreet. At one stage I thought I'd lost it.
All right.
Because it had gone right to the bottom of the pocket and I couldn't find it.
What kind of pocket was this? What was the pocket on?
A jacket.
What sort of jacket?
A dinner jacket.
A dinner jacket. I say. Have you been out gallivanting?
Quite a deep pocket.
Yes, well they are. They are. Because you've got to get your hanky in the top pocket, of course.
You have, yes.
As you know,
yes.
to be, really
but
top hill. And
I've
spiffy.
really enjoyed using that. And of course, it's simple to refill. You charge it up. No problem at all.
Now, you're saying that you've been charging it on a night, and that the charger is, this is what you get, is a USB charger. Much as you've seen anywhere else, of course. But you've just been charging it on a night?
Yes.
And it's got you through the day?
Yes.
And just so that everybody knows, because there'll be new viewers that don't know what your habit was before you switched to e-cigs. You were a 10 fags a day man, weren't you?
Yes, maximum.
Maximum
yes,
10
maximum
a day.
10 a day.
So for a 10 a day smoker, then what you're really saying is this fulfills the need quite nicely.
Yes.
Yes, I'll chime in on that, and I've got to say I am really rather impressed with this cartomizer. I've been having the odd chuff on it, and folks on the team will attest to the fact that they've seen me in hangouts and little chats that we've had, sitting chuffing away on it, and it's really quite handy for when you're just sitting.
And I mean, the draw is effortless.
It is, and it's a green light on the end as well.
So then I was just plugging it into a shaver socket and leaving it overnight.
I used the 2-pin USB charger.
Yes.
I gave you, yeah. So, yes, here's the big question. We don't yet know how much they are.
Right.
But I know they're going to be under 20 quid.
Right.
Well under 20 quid. Would you buy another one?
Yes.
That good?
Yes. Yes. Very impressed with it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that actually means a lot, because as you know, I have to move things to this side of the table quite a lot. So you're impressed, yes?
Yes. I mean, I'm not saying... obviously, I'll use other devices that I have, but particularly for going out, that is ideal.
I think it would be a cracking introduction as well. It is actually producing very, very nicely. So somebody that was new to e-cigs, you probably wouldn't go too far wrong with something like that.
You wouldn't, no.
And looking at the box, as I have been doing, because I look for, daft things and the claims, it's a 190 milliamp hour rechargeable battery, it says. You get your USB charger, 3 flavour cartomizers in classic tobacco, menthol fresh, and RY4 sweet tobacco. Now, I've tried the RY4 and you have.
Yes.
And it ain't.
It doesn't taste anything like RY4.
Doesn't taste anything like RY4 at all.
That doesn't mean to say it isn't nice.
Oh, it's not unpleasant. It's not unpleasant, but it's and these are 18 milligram cartos, 1.8 milligrams. So you know that's pretty good. Yeah.
Now I got that on Monday night, and it was only late this afternoon that I would have needed to refill it. So what I did was just put another one on.
Right.
So I haven't refilled yet, but it had lasted all that time on the original filling.
I'll tell you what we'll do for the next few programs when you're in. If you just report back on how it's going, because we want to know what the longevity is going to be like and what you reckon the carto's like and stuff like that, and when the carto dies.
Right.
Is that fair?
Yes.
So if you've got 3, we'll need to do something about that menthol, because you're not a menthol fan, are you? No. We'll sort something out. We'll play swappies.
Right.
Because there's 1 or 2 other flavours there.
Yes.
And what I think I've got a 3rd one that I'll try and get up to Sav for the menthol, because she's the menthol expert.
Oh well.
I think she likes Marmite as well. Oh, aye. Wanting now to do with menthol.
I don't think it was a Marmite flavour, but
oh dear God, well if there is, I'm not having it. So there you go, that's the Vaporiz Gemini, that's it there.
Very good.
In the box, Vaporiz Gemini. Coming soon to a Vaporiz website near you, one would imagine. At which point, adverts. We'll take a break.
Yes.
Yes, we'll take a break. Back in 2 minutes.
The Haze Hour is brought to you by Janty, pioneers in electronic smoking. iVapor and iVapor Elixir, based in Yorkshire, for your e-cig needs. That's ivapor.co.uk and ivapor-elixir.co.uk. iVapor and ivapor-elixir.co.uk, proud sponsors of vaportrails.tv. And now back to the Haze Hour, sponsored by Janty.
My Neo.
Yes. You what?
Neo.
Oh.
Do you remember it conked out?
Oh, we'll have a natter about that next week. We really have to blast on, or we're going to run out of time, because we've got more things to look at. Now, a lot of you will have seen that there's been a massive uptake in rebuildable... I'm sorry, it's going to be technical again.
Oh, right.
Sorry about that. Massive uptake in rebuildable atomizers. In fact, I've got 2 or 3 or 4 sitting here now that I'm looking at, and I've got one arriving tomorrow. And when we go to Vapefest Island on Saturday in Ireland, at Vapefest Island, they've got a rebuildable village going on there for rebuildable atomizers. I'm going to spend a lot of time in there because I don't know why, I've got into these things. The mesh... you
I really wish I was going.
Okay, right, fair enough. I tell you what, one of the cheapest I've found on the market is called the Dominator from Vapor Hut. No, it's not from Vapor Hut, I do apologise. It's from Health E-Vape. The Dominator it's called. And I got one. Here it is. Now then, it's Thursday morning and vape mail has arrived. This time from Health E-Vape. I ordered the Dominator tank because there were 1 or 2 people on about it, and I thought, well, why not? Let's have a look at it. So the Dominator tank, as I say, I just don't know anything about it, but here it's come. This is the various different bits that have arrived. We've got some wick, there's a mouthpiece drip tip there, there's a bit of small piece of stainless steel coil, a stainless steel mesh to make a wick out of, and this is the tank itself, a couple of spare springs and a spare coil. If I can get that to focus, you'll be able to see in there the spare coil already wound. Now, as I say, I know nothing about this, so this is a little bit of a first look. It's actually a behind the scenes, if you like. This is what happens when stuff comes that you know nothing about. I've looked at the pictures, which is about as far as it gets, and as you can see, it hasn't been out of the packet. This is exactly virgin, and I'm going to try and work out how it works. And it looks awfully like what I saw on the site, so I'm assuming that in order to fill it, because that hole, there is only one hole, so I can't quite see how you're supposed to fill it. I'm assuming that the top comes off. It would be great if I could grip it. Cloth time. It's tight. I don't see any other way than now it's turning. That's it. That is tight. Alright, it slides out. That whole top end pulls out like that, which is interesting in and of itself. So I can only assume that you fill it from the bottom, which unscrews. So let's unscrew it. And that's the structure of it. The coil traps, these springs trap the two sides of the coil, obviously. And I assume that the only way you're going to be able to fill this is with a hypodermic down through there. So now I need to find a hypodermic. Right, hypodermics to hand, he said, having sought them out. So let's get a needle. .3mm hypo and some juice. This is a lure lock one, and hopefully I can, yes I can. Let's draw 3mm in. And fill this hypo up. There'll be a little fade here. I'm going to call that full. And we're back in the room. Right, so it looks as though the hypo has to poke through one of these holes. That's awkward. I've picked the wrong one. Right, so that's going to have to go back in, so this end comes off again. I'm going to use my pliers. I would think this is what a lot of people go through, you know. Alrighty, so that there threads through and sits there. This one appears to be, that's quite solid. I just can't see, unless you fill it there. That might be it. Right, well, in order to get this right, I'm going to drop a bit of juice on there, so that the wick is already wicking. because I'd really rather like this to work first time. Let's screw that in. Now I can't see whether those wicks are going to touch or not. Anyway, let's try filling it. Take it to there. Squeeze it in. That looks to be. I've only got so much strength. Cloth required again. Right. The action of turning it, it's very, very difficult to see what's going on in there. But I think the action of turning it should wipe those wicks across onto the bits and bobs that are in there. While that kind of does its little bit of soaky bit, and I stick it on the white paper so that we can see if there's any immediate leaks. The Dominator tank sells at $14.99 for 15 quid is what we're talking about. So I'm not going to be overly harsh on this thing, but I think what I probably need to do is check what resistance that coil is, because I don't just want to go clagging it on something willy-nilly and burning it out and having to rebuild. Like I say, this is where I usually start. So let's just check it out and see where we're at. It's somewhere in the 2 ohm region, is as close as I can get it. So that being the case, it should sit straight on the repaired job from earlier. So let's clag it on there, screw it down properly, that seems alright, and let's extract the supplied mouthpiece. It looks as though it will take any drip tip, but we'll extract the supplied mouthpiece, untangle from the wick, stick it in. Good tight fit. Then let's give it a blast. Well, you can't knock that. It definitely works. And it works very well. What the wicking is going to be like is anybody's guess. What you can't see awfully well, you can, just here. You can see that the vapour is lying in it. It's actually lying in a little lamination, as it were. And it's producing enormously well. I'm not sure why this piece of silicon tubing is in there. Mind that does get warm, but nonetheless, from the point of view of production, it works very well. I'll press on with it and keep using it, although I've got another device that's arrived from the same place that I want to have a look at, which is I'm a little bit excited about, but only a little bit excited about. I'm going to give some trade secrets away here and change the shot a little bit. And what I'm going to do is take the background out, and I'm going to as well take out the blue screen effect that we use, assuming I can find it. So let's take the blue screen out. Alright, blue screen's gone. Well, the blue screen's there, it's behind me, but you'll be able to see now how much it's producing. And that's not to be sniffed at. That's producing enormously well. 15 quid. I'm like I say, I'll keep on playing with this. You can see how much juice is in it. Let me measure up. I managed to get about 1.5 mils in, and I can see a little bubble forming where the wicks poke up into the juice. It's gone quite see-through, has the wick in there, and I've got a pool. I can see now a pool of juice forming at the bottom. I don't know whether that means I've pulled the wicks out. Right, well, I think the thing to do is probably to suck that juice back out and see what's occurring. Let me just show you what I'm doing. I can see that there's a little, I don't know whether it's meant to be, but there is a pool of juice just at the bottom here. As I can't quite see what's going on, it's not affecting it, but I just have the feeling that one of those wicks has pulled through. So I'm going to suck the juice out, if I can. This might not be easy to see, and just see what's going on. This is as it happens. I'll take it off the mod, otherwise there'll be a mess everywhere. So as before, I need to pull this up somehow. Pliers required again, I think, just to get a start on it. It's awkward, is this. Right, that's that. I'm just going to suck that juice out. So I can see what's going on with those wicks. That's close enough for jars. Let's pull it up. No, they're still there. It's still there. It's just not quite as far through. You just can't see when it's in the tank. You can't actually see what's going on. But they're working. So let's slide it back in and rejuice it. I've probably got that totally wrong, but this is kind of first principles. So let's juice it back up. Get in. And that'll do for the time being. Push it back in. Cloth required again. Juice everywhere. Like I say, it's working, and it's working quite nicely. I'm just not sure about this whole fill it up and there we go. That's properly sealed shut. So it's got to be making good contact. I don't think this is going to be something that I'm going to want to refill while I'm out and about, because it does seem to be a tad on the fiddly side, and I don't understand why that silicon's in there. I might try taking it out later on and see what happens. But yeah, it's quite strange really. And yet You really can't knock that, and those wicks are definitely carrying the juice. So I'll carry on with it and we'll see how it goes. Back to the studio for the time being, and we'll see when we go back to the studio how it's got on during the course of the day. Back to the studio. And here we are, and here it is. And I've had a couple of dry spots. You've really got to get those two little wicks that are coming down from the tank touching the wick that you've got coming up. It's a faff, but it's worth it to a large degree.
Well, while the video was shown, we've had a conversation.
We have, yes.
I mean, I'm attracted to larger capacity tanks, and as you know, I've got a couple. Now, watching that over what a period of 10 minutes, one of my first questions was, well, were there no instructions?
Not that I saw.
You know, a guy, you know, I'm going to make you big-headed here, who has a vast knowledge of these things, to be sitting faffing on for nearly 10 minutes, finding out how you fill it, I just think is incredible. I do, really.
Well,
you know, it might, in the end, produce the results, but dear me.
Well, to be fair, I'm pretty much a newcomer to this style of rebuildable. Right? There's loads of folks out on the forums that would pick that up and da-da-da-da-dumph, and that would be it, done. They know what they're doing. The likes of Mark, Mark Jones on the team, would know exactly what to do with it. And a lot of folks that are into rebuildables would know exactly what to do with it. I'm a newbie when it comes to that, and I'll hold my hand up and say,
yeah, but what about people who buy one that haven't that knowledge?
Ah, well, they're going to be in
the
same position as I was, really. But we'll blast. I mean, have a try. Give it a go. See what you think. Clouds around you.
Yeah, fine, but I mean, I don't see it standing apart from other similar devices. Do you?
Well, like I say, I got it today, and I need to use it for a lot longer and recoil it, re-wick it, and play with it to find out. Like I said in the video, I might have got it completely, totally, and utterly wrong. I don't know.
Right.
Shall we look at the second item that came straight after we've had the second adverts?
Yes.
We'll go at the adverts and then straight into the video. The Haze Hour is brought to you by Janty, pioneers in electronic smoking. And now back to the Haze Hour, sponsored by Janty. Me again. It's one of those days today. There's more. There's more. And so let's have a look at it then, shall we? The new it's a bit of a giggle, is this one, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it, but much like the Dominator, this has just arrived. Not going to mess about. Let's get the lid off and pull the beastie out. It's yeah, this is a proper unboxing, is this? This is the Mix, the Elips Mix. It has operating instructions, look. Here it is, all the information you could desire, and apparently what this is a 2 liquids together, mix it and a new flavour appears. That's what it says, if you can read any of that gubbins that's on there. I'm reading it upside down. The idea behind it is that you have, as you might be able to see here, 2 atomizers in an ellipse kind of thing, and you've got effectively 3 actuators, 1, 2 and 3. The rest of it is all fairly straightforward. It shows you how to clean it out, how to fill it up and all of that kind of stuff. It's nothing that we don't already know. So let's blast on. I'm a little bit annoyed, I have to say, to see that the adapter is a European adapter. It's an American adapter actually, rather than a UK one. It's a bit iffy, but you get a little bottle to put your juice in. Has it got a snipe nose on it? Well, let's have a look and see. It has a snipe nose on it. But if you're going to have 2 flavours, why would you only have 1 bottle? Just a question worth asking. And then the usual USB charger. You kind of ignore that white bit. Anyway, let's get shot of the box. Get shot of the instructions. Get everything in focus. And let's do it against the blue, then it looks a little bit better. Here it is. At the top end you have a quite broad rubberized mouthpiece, and then taking that off, you see 2 cartomizers of the CE2 type. So my intention is to fill one with my standby, my usual RY6, and I'm going to put RY High 5 in the other one. I'm going to do it with a hypo just because I can. Won't take a great deal. I'll just pull a mill in. I doubt it'll take that much. Alrighty, so the one on the right hand button, is going to be the one, and I have to say this is a damn sight easier to fill than any CE2 I've had before. And there we go, that's that one. And just squirt the excess. So that's RY6 in 36mg BM2, and this is the RY High 5 in 18mg PG. It's my wife's. Don't tell her I've nicked it, whatever you do. And that'll go in the other side. This is going to be, if it works, it'll be a true side-by-side test, and we'll be able to see which one wicks better too. So that's that in as well. Right, we'll give them a few seconds just to soak. Get rid of that and put it back together. The outside case goes on, and you can see that there's little looky through holes, look, and then the cap goes on, and that should, in theory, squeeze, push, that should make for workage. So on the left RY High 5, on the right RY6, and in the middle you get them both, which is going to be an interesting concept. So here we go. Try the RY6 right hand side and hope it's Oh, you might, I should point out as well, before we go any further, I've just realised when I've looked at the top, you may be able to see that there are 2 holes, not just 1. 2 holes in the mouthpiece, which is quite broad. Anyway, back to me. So we'll try the RY6. Just through the one side, and that tastes right. Try the RY High 5 through the other side. And that tastes right. And now we try the 2 together. It's just weird. And nothing. I don't know whether we'll be able to see. No, I can't find a way of managing to get it to come out so you can see it coming out of both holes at once. That's really strange. RY High 5. RY6. That's really weird. You can actually taste the difference between the 2 and putting the 2 together. You can feel it coming out of the individual mouthpieces. There you go, first look. I can't quite work out how you charge this. Let's go back to the closey uppy shot. Alright, there it is, on the side. There is a hole with a light for to charge it up, so let's take it off a USB, which I happen to have handy. So I'll plug this into a USB, excuse I while I do this, like so, and plug it into the little hole, and as you can see, there's the little light flashing about the place. Oh, there's a little disco light going on, look. All different, very good. I don't know whether it'll act as a pass-through, let's try it. And indeed it does, with its little disco light going on. I've got to say, so there you are. Oop, echo, dink, yes. I've got to say, I've pulled that short because we're rapidly running out of time, and I've had a request from Chris that the chat's going mad about something, and fine. But that's 13 quid.
I find that incredible.
So do I. 13 quid for that. Bargain. Health E-Vape. Health-E-Vape.
And
that's
even I could fill it.
Even you could fill it. There'd be no bother at all. Right, chat, just for you. What's coming up next week? Next week, we'll be looking at these, the sculpted drip tips. There's one that is a nice little flower. There's one that is a snake. There's one which is the skull. They're in gold and silver. We're going to be looking at this, which is the Ego telescope. We're going to be looking at the £25 Genesis atomizer. We're going to be looking at the Ego Twist, and we've got a special guest next week. Kat will be on the show with her butt plug.
Pardon?
This is a device she's been using that she's been enjoying. She's done some video on it, so tune in next week. I'll tell you more about those drip tips. I'll tell you more about the telescope. Keith will tell you more about other stuff. It's going to be a packed show next week. There'll be footage from here, there and everywhere. So until we see you next time, from Keith,
good night,
and from me, I'll see you next week, or I'll see you through the window. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
The Haze Hour was sponsored by Janty, pioneers in electronic cigarettes.